guys, it's your neighborhood handyman here. Today I'm going to be working on AC and I'm going to walk you through it. Follow me. Alright guys, so here we are in front of the AC unit now. My client called me out, said his downstairs unit wasn't working. So I came out to diagnose the unit. I found my pressures were correct with my gauges, and I found the condenser fan working, so I know there's power to the unit. Now I just needed to find out if there was power to the compressor. After finding out there was power to the compressor, I tested to see if it was grounded. I can do that again right now to show you guys. So if you have your compressor at home or your AC unit that's popping your breaker, chances are something's grounded. If you don't have this, I don't know what you're doing. Get this. So now what I'm doing is identifying these wires. The brown one goes to my capacitor, which you can think of as a starter, I guess, for the unit, for the fan motor. And the other one being the starter for the compressor, which is this, which is a pump that pumps refrigerant through the unit. So now I'm identifying the wires for the fan to take it off to be more comfortable, have more space to work. This motor is also being replaced. Just because the unit's fairly old, and since we're replacing the compressor, we don't want any issues down the line, have to come back for no reason. It's a cheap part, might as well do it. So I don't know how, if any HVAC techs are watching this, I don't know how you do it, and I'm not challenging you, but how I do it is I remove the screws or the bolts to the compressor first. So when I start heating it to sweat the copper lines, I can just move the compressor to pop the line out of place, and I don't have to burn my hands trying to figure it out. Let's go ahead and do that. I could have left them in, but sometimes I leave them in and it's still held on by like one thread, and it's not a big deal, it's just really annoying, so I just take them out now. So now I'm going to get ready to start sweating this off. If you guys don't know how to set your gauges, comment. I'll teach you guys how to set your gauges. I'm sure you know how though. I'm gonna need you to insert fire jutsu here somewhere because it's about to happen. That's what you want to see? That's what I like to see. Well, here's the question some of you might be wondering. How hot do you get? When do you start pulling out the line? I don't know the right fucking answer, but what I do is so I see shiny, literally that's what I do. I wait till this shit gets shiny, the brazing, and the color seems to change to green on the flame as well. And that indicates I'm ready to pull out. There's a joke in there somewhere. Try to heat the old compressor line more than the existing copper line, just in case you fuck up and make a hole. Not that you should, but in case you do, things happen. That's what I meant about shaking it. Smart idea is to carry a water bottle and spray it down and cool it down faster. It's a smarter idea, but I didn't do it. You're not smart. Well, I just didn't do it. Here's where, if you have a hard time removing the compressors, the only thing you can really do is hit the gym because you're weak. I'm gonna do it with one hand just to show you how weak you are. About at least 1,000 pounds. Okay. I'm not saying I'm Goku, you're saying it. Now I'm gonna sand the ends to clean them up for welding. I'm gonna sand all the ends on the new compressor, and we'll be right back to weld it in. So we're sanding the copper lines like I told you. It's mostly to clean it so that when I solder or braze it, when I braze it, the brazing will adhere better to it. Shout out to the Titan, getting the compressor here. You're gonna show the Titan when I say shout out to the Titan. Really? Well, you can't move it back. Oh, that's it. That happened because there's a vacuum in it. We'll pull vacuum on it for travel. Sand these two. Same thing. We ran into our first problem, and I'll show you right now what it is.
You're not strong enough.
Alright guys, what's the problem? This is supposed to connect here. This is supposed to connect here. You see on the old compressor, they're not in the same place. That's the thing with replacements. Sometimes you gotta move it around.
Get the right item.
So the thing is, all I gotta do is flip this and figure out how to get this over there. So I'm gonna cut it here, put a 90, and that'll leave all this over here. You never want pipes touching because this vibrates a lot, and that's how you get leaks. So when you're, it's just a lot of friction. You don't want that.
You not just jerk off the pole, bro.
So like I said, if you can't do this, it's only one reason: you don't watch enough Bradley Martin. Alright guys, we're back, and we ran into some technical difficulties like I told you earlier. Had to rearrange the pipes like it was my wife, and that's what she looks like. We ended up adding a piece of pipe here to compensate for the space, and I just bent this one carefully to not cause any kinks. Now we're good to braze here, and braze here because this joint is already brazed. Alright, doing the bottom one first because it's gonna get hot, and then if I do the top one first, it'll get hot and I'll burn myself trying to do the bottom one. So, since I don't like burning myself, so when you heat it up and the flame starts turning green, you'll notice the braze rod just melts in like butter. Now I'm just heating up to clean up my mess. Cleans itself up. So the flame gets green, and then start putting in my braze, and it'll just slide in like butter, like if it was my wife. I do this to check if it's ready to braze. If it's not melting like butter, it's not ready to go. If you don't know how to cook, I don't know what to tell you, bro. You better be good looking to get a good wife. Like my boy Haziel here, he's good looking. Same thing with the last one. It just went into legendary Super Saiyan mode. So I'm ready. No, it didn't. It didn't. It didn't. It didn't. Still fighting Vegeta. And I don't have to worry about hitting it from any angle. It just, when it melts in like butter, it fills all the spots. I just like to stuff it like it's my wife. And that's it. The compressor's in. Now I'm going to pull vacuum to remove any moisture from the system. And at the same time, it'll suck up all the refrigerant when I'm charging it. So we got to let that cool down. Probably change this wire set out. If I don't have to, I won't. If I do have to, I will. How do I know that? Well, if it fits in here. If it doesn't fit in here, I gotta change it. I don't have these, so I'm gonna cut this and join it to my new legs with wire nuts. Should be fine. So when you turn on your thermostat inside your house, the thermostat sends low voltage to this here coil, I'm not sure if you can see it. And then that coil pushes in this leg. Once this leg is in, it allows for the line voltage to go through the contactor and into our compressor and everything else. So if your stuff's not starting, that's one thing that could be going wrong. Either the starter or the contactor. Capacitor is what it's called. Pump. It sucks and blows out. So I'm going to connect this third hose to it, my service hose, and I'm going to turn it on and open my 2 ports. So I'll let it suck and blow out like my wife, you know? So let's do it. So what I want to see is this go below 0 and stay there. It's not going to reach 30, but if it doesn't go down at all, that means I have a leak somewhere. And it wasn't leaking before I got here, so if it's leaking, it has to be from where I did. But it's going down. I mean, chances are it's not leaking. Also, I'm a beast, so. Now we do is we just wait. I usually give it 10 to 15 minutes of vacuum, and because I don't have a micron gauge on me, but 10 to 15 minutes should be fine, and we'll be back to charge it. So what I'm gonna do is cut it. So here's the thing you don't want to do. You don't want to cut it and then put the fan blade on, because it's gonna take you an extra 30 minutes of trying to figure out how to get it on because you fucked up the head. So put the fan blade on first, and then you can mess up the shaft however you want and cut it shorter. That's what I'm gonna do. Has a line, a flat side. That's what this holds. And now, for the most part, from what I know, you want to get the fan blades as close to the motor as possible, but not right on the motor. That should be good. Spin it one time, make sure it's not hitting anything. The wires, well, we'll zip tie those down. It's not hitting the metal casing. Well, let the saw do the work. You don't have to force it, even though I'm super strong and buff. I wasn't pushing down at all. Just let the saw go down on its own. Or else you'll bend something. You don't want to fucking bend anything, trust me. What's up, guys? We got the new fan in already. That was a quick process. I hope you watched it. Now we're just waiting for a couple more minutes for the vacuum to finish up. I'm going to tighten up these bolts so I have less things to do. That's just me being cocky, because I should leave this off in case there's a leak. But once that pulls vacuum, we're going to turn it off, shut these, and leave it for about 2 minutes to see if the needle moves. If the needle moves, I have a leak somewhere, because there shouldn't be any escapes in the line. So now we'll shut these. Open this one. Close this one. This one. See right there? We're gonna watch it to see if it moves. I usually take a picture and then compare, but I'm here right now, so we're just gonna check it. Alright guys, so it's been a few minutes. As you can see, the needle hasn't moved, which is what we wanted. That tells me it's safe to start charging it. So what I have here is a Infinicon Weight-Tech scale. I'm going to weigh my gas. This is the R22 unit. As you can tell, this is not R22. So what's going on? R22 is being phased out everywhere, I'm pretty sure, not just here in Las Vegas. But what that means is they're not manufacturing anymore. Whatever's out there is all there is, so it just naturally gets more expensive. So they've come up with replacements that are ideal for R22. 427A is the one that I've used. You could also use MO99 or 407C, but I have not used 407, so I couldn't tell you about it. 427 seems to work great, and it's much cheaper. So why am I giving him 427A instead of R22? Not because I want to save money, but because if something happens to his unit later down the line, something else, not the compressor, and he needs to do a repair that involves refrigerant, he's going to save a fortune having to use this gas and not having to buy R22. So that's why I'm using this. It says I have 25.9. The bottle itself always weighs about 5 pounds. So I have 20 pounds in here. This unit should only take about 7 pounds. So we're just gonna tear this out. That means put it down to 0. Connect the service line that we had on the vacuum to this. Flip it upside down, because when you flip it upside down, you're letting liquid in. If I have it up here, there's gas up here and all the liquid is down here. So when I'm charging it, yes, it'll charge, but it will literally take forever, and you have to wait for the gas to go through into the liquid line, and it would just take forever. So what you want to do is flip it upside down and charge it to get all the liquid down here, all the gas up here. You just charge faster, more efficiently. All right, flip it over. So here we go. First thing we want to do is open up the suction side. So the blue side is suction side, the thick line. Red side is discharge line, your thin line, your hot line. Or unless you have a heat pump, it'll switch, but don't worry about that right now. We're gonna let some in. Now, yeah, it's going in because this bottle is pressurized, but it's also going in because there's a vacuum on the unit, so it's sucking in the gas. Just gonna charge it up so I don't start it up dry. I've accidentally started units dry a couple times and nothing happened, but I try not to do it because something bad could happen, I'm sure. So right here, I'm not guessing how much I'm putting in. I'm watching the scale. The scale goes up. I'll put about 3 pounds in and start it, and then I can start to charge it up to pressure. Okay, so now I have 3 pounds in. I know the unit's not dry, so when it kicks up, it'll start pumping and refrigerating. I have to go inside and tell the resident to turn on their AC so I can finish charging it. Before I do that, I'm going to wire up the condenser fan motor, or else it'll affect my pressures and overheat my compressor. Luizichi here, the ultimate disciple. If you don't know, go on somebody else's channel, bro. So we're done. We got the unit charged. Everything took well. The only problem I had was the rotation of the fan, like I told you guys earlier. But we just switched these two around. I don't have a zip tie, that's why I put this here. I'll get one right now and put it. But for now, it's just so the cables don't get caught on the blades. I'm giving the compressor a few minutes before I turn the breaker back on, because I don't want to short cycle it. That means if we turn it on and off too much, the compressor could basically mess up and cause more problems. So by giving it a few minutes, we'll let the gas settle and not fuck up our compressor. So next, we're going to start it and go inside and check temperatures. And if that's good, I'm going to take my money and go home. Sounds good. It's running optimal between 50 and 60. It's going to drop slowly. The green color is the one we're using because we're using 427 or R22 gauge. The pink is for 410A. And the blue on the outside just tells us pressures, PSIs. Same here. So as you can see, we're actually we could add a little gas, so we will. Open up the low side. You never want to charge to the high side. That looks good to me. And we'll go inside and check temperatures. Hi guys, welcome back to the Luizichi show. We got another happy customer on our hands. I tell him to slow down, not recommend everyone to me, but he won't listen. He wants me to have all the work. We have too much work, guys. We're doing good. Let me know down in the comments if you like this video, if you want to see another video, if there's something bothering you, if you need to fix something. We'll either fix it on the comments or make another video. Let's keep going. We'll figure this out. See you guys next time.